We did not get space that we usually try to get, sadly enough. But that's okay. We make do. Oh, I think I broke something a little bit, but that's okay. Hopefully it doesn't.
Country girls make do.
Country boys make do.
As you do.
Either way, looks like Facebook's broken. We'll see if YouTube seems to get connected fine.
Facebook not broken.
Dude, the Facebook streaming connection for Restream is always kind of jank. It's really funny. But we're connected to Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch, as well as Steam, technically, hilariously enough. Oh, I seem to have lost
one streamer.
That's okay. But yeah, no, we are live.
Our one viewer that watches on Facebook is molding right now.
I know.
Actually, I feel bad for them.
How could we do that? So, quick recap of what's what. This is Hyperfixation. It's the Trusu Gaming pseudo weekly podcast where we discuss our different hyperfixations that we've had throughout our lives. So, as much as we just did a tier list 2 weeks ago on Soda, we decided to do one again here in honor of the new Pokemon game release. So we are doing what games or anything goes, i.e. what, scale and tier list of the actual games themselves. With that in mind, we've got lots of guests this time because Pokemon is a little more popular than Soda, as it turns out.
I don't know about that.
More healthy for you at least. No, that's also questionable. Actually.
It's more popular in this server than
hey guys,
Soda.
You know that in terms of.
Stop.
Either way,
Don't do this.
Yeah. So we are going to tier list the games. But first, brief introductions. I'm Gavin. I'm third year computer science student.
I'm a Tesla student.
Perfect.
Hey, I'm Tyler. I'm a second year geography student.
And our guests today are Ara.
Hey, I'm Ara. I'm a second year comp sci student.
Dex.
Hi, I'm Dex. I'm a third year bio student.
And Legacy.
Hi, I'm Cameron, and I'm dead inside.
The vibe.
Nice one.
All right. With that in mind, yeah, we can probably get started pretty much right away here. So yeah, let's start looking at some games here. After the games, we'll discuss our Pokemon hot takes just to have this a little bit more spicy. But to start off, let's take a look here.
Dude, I can't wait till Cameron kills me later.
Let's go into presentation mode on this bad boy. There you go. That looks much nicer.
Ooh.
So this tier list, I didn't actually end up making this because I didn't have the time, but I found it. This has every main series game and a lot of the side games as well, but we can just avoid the side games if you don't want to take up time.
No, I actually do want to
absolutely more luck.
Yeah, I really do want to rank the side games because I have played a lot of them, surprisingly enough. Obviously, there's some that I haven't. But
how about this? While we work through this, why don't you throw together a specific list of side games there for us that are missing from this list? Then we can quickly open a second one afterwards. Okay, so I think I can hear someone playing Valorant. Are you playing Val?
I heard you.
Yeah, I was like, am I hallucinating or something?
No, I think I was playing Valorant in the middle of our stream podcast.
Hey, I wanted to.
Okay, go ahead and mute while you do that then. That way you don't get interrupted because my brain does not work well.
Okay, I'm muting myself now.
There. Alright, so why don't we start off with the first game chronologically. So that would be Red and Blue, right?
Yeah, Red and Blue. Where's Blue?
I
can't find Blue.
Right here, Red and Blue.
Oh,
okay.
The Red and Blue.
So Red and Blue.
It definitely ain't staying there. I can tell you that much.
I will say Red and Blue were fine.
I agree. I would say
I
would say it should really stay around the middle of the pack because it wasn't amazing, all the stuff they made, but it did set the tone for a lot of other games to come. So it should definitely be B and C.
What I can say is
at the time, it was amazing when it first came out. It was so much fun, but it very much does not hold up after all the new. Even Gold and Silver, the next generation, hold up better to play than Red.
Yes, agreed.
I'm gonna say it actually does. I think it does deserve at least like C or B, just
Yeah.
because I can appreciate the. It's like a lot more non-linear than a lot of the later Pokemon games. I suppose you could also say that's a similar case with any remakes of it, but I can appreciate the fact that after like the first few gyms, you can kind of tackle things in like whatever order you want, really. It's something that really only gens 1 and then like to a much lesser extent 2.
One thing I would like to add is that this one should be a little bit lower than the remakes, just purely because of how screwed up Psychic was in the games.
Oh yeah, there's so many
everything was screwed up in this game.
miscoded things.
But specifically the Psychic typing, it was supposed to be weak to Ghost, but instead it was immune.
And also, its only other weakness was Bug. Bug had like 2 attacking moves, and one of them was like 10 power points or something.
Then we have
10 damage.
Then we
Every
have
team was
Dragon
just
as
built
like Dragon had 1 attacking move and that's it.
And its attacking move wasn't even a proper attack. It was just one of the ones where it's like it always does 40 damage, so you couldn't even do super effective with it.
I think
have outrage yet.
I think putting it right in C tier gives us a like a nice middle ground to work off of, right?
That's fine.
I
Yeah,
think it's a
I'm
good
okay
plan.
with that.
Okay. So
Before we continue to gold and silver, just find yellow.
yeah, because yellow's
Where's
just
yellow?
slightly better, right?
There it is. Third row at the end.
Just slightly better, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Slightly better, but in the same tier.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense to me.
Slightly better, but it's too bad that you can only pick Pikachu.
Hey, at least your rival gets easy.
Yeah.
Yes, at least that.
The worst
Um,
part too is you couldn't even get like another Pikachu in the.
Bear, you
you
might
could
want to
not
try
get
just
a
switching
right
to
hand
audio
here.
only,
Just-
because I think you're having some bandwidth
for
issues.
Then there is one more game in Gen 1,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
green over there, which is also
do
the
I-
third row.
Where's
Green is third row, third. Yeah,
I mean
that's the Japanese only one.
that's the
Where
thing.
it just goes, yeah.
Yeah, it's the exact
It's
same.
slightly lower. It's slightly lower because it has that ugly Mew sprite. No one likes that ugly Mew sprite.
Is it bad that I only know the
I
first
thought it was-
generation of Pokemons?
Yes, I'm joking. No, it's not.
So let me ask you guys this:
Okay.
do we want to try going through this as close to chronologically as possible, or do we want to slap the remakes on once we do the base games? So do we
Yeah, I
want to?
think
I think
remakes
that's a good-
after.
Okay. So then,
I think going through the base games would well.
Okay.
Go from there.
sure.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think
so
it's more fair because like the mechanics carry over from
gold and
game-
silver is
later
next
games.
up with
And Crystal.
and crystal.
I
So
honestly put them A.
they are,
Yeah, I put them A too.
and then I think realistically, same boat.
Personally,
where-
I'd put them B, but I'm fine with putting them A, I guess.
I think the
if
aesthetic
we
is
were
nice.
if we agree with like Dex on like maybe putting it a bit lower, I think Crystal belongs in A. Crystal was a lot
Yeah.
better just because it combined, of course, the two contents. But I feel
on
that
on
the
a
game
like
is just really
person who
good.
on a person who plays Pokemon like very much, these games are really bad to go back to because we have Heart Gold and Soul Silver, but
But yes,
yeah,
we're just
because-
saying at the time.
yeah, at the time it was pretty impressive, and also they did manage to squeeze another region into the game, which I have to give them credit for, even though that region kind of sucks. You know, it's fine.
I will say that one thing I like
found
about
Johto just fine.
I do kind of like the general look of the game. I'd say even more than Heart Gold Soul Silver. The Game Boy Color had like a really unique color palette that I feel is like more homey, and I feel especially at night, like a lot of the colors were really vibrant.
Okay.
Yeah, it's surprising what they got out of the game.
Yeah, I think gold and silver. I think technically silver was my first Pokemon game, and it's honestly so good. Like, love that game.
Yeah, I played all of them, and I don't think I've ever gotten as attached to any of the games as I did the gold silver gen.
That's hard.
So with that in mind, I think I don't know. I feel like
Sapphire.
because I do think. What do you guys? Okay. See, we're gonna have to move some stuff around as we go. It's fine for now. Okay, so Ruby Sapphire, we got them here. I think
And
they are
Emerald.
good.
They are. I would put them on the same tier as Gold and Silver, personally.
Yeah, I think at the very least there. I do think they might be a little bit better because they got the higher. They added in a bunch of like fun mechanics, and they played really well. And also, I loved Pokemon contests. I'm super.
Yeah, Ruby Sapphire is when they got double battles and abilities for the first
Yeah.
time. So yeah, it's pretty important to the whole series.
Yeah.
But okay, if we are rating them in like B to A, Emerald immediately gets S.
I do think Emerald
Yeah, I
is
can live with that.
probably one of the best Pokemon games, so that seems reasonable to me. The battle
Emerald
tower is
is-
amazing.
I never thought they were bad, but I played them, and I just found I got bored like really quickly during playing the game. I don't know what it was. There was something
the
about
start
like
is very slow. I have
world.
to give that.
It was
And
yeah.
also,
I never actually
Exploration.
finished.
Exploration in this and a certain future game sucks because of HMs.
God, I can't. That'll put a lot of the newer games way above is when they got rid of HMs. Oh,
So maybe, but do you think that? Okay, so how about this? We put this like this, and then what do we think? Like that?
I'm good with that.
I'm
yeah,
good
I'm
with
fine
that.
with that.
yeah.
Yes, Gen 3 was very good and it did well, but personally, I think that the Pokemon they introduced were kind of lacking. The only one
I
that
definitely was not as
really-
interested in them. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, the only one that really resonated with me was like the Aggron line. But besides that, I didn't feel that there was a ton to go off. Like they brought in the really boring ones like Illumise and Volbeat.
But isn't Flygon from that gen?
and-
I love Flygon.
There were a lot of
Fair.
like double battle gimmick Pokemon.
I like Slugma.
Muscle.
Slugma's Gen 2.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
Gen 2, bro.
no, is it?
Sorry.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
No, it
is
is.
it really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's the whole
Holy
thing in
shit.
the community that people think that is Gen 3. It's pretty much not available in Gen 2 because it's like in post game only, and then finally they put in Gen 3 in like the main game, so
Yeah.
people only see it for the first time and the start of the like Gen
Alright.
3 instead.
Huh.
Slugmanats.
By the way, I
Interesting.
posted all of the relevant spin-offs in the chat.
Cool. Let's do main series first, then we'll work back through spin-offs, I think. So after that, we switch to Pearl, Diamond and Pearl.
Yeah, Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum.
Okay, so Diamond, Pearl.
Diamond and Pearl are D to F tier.
Yeah,
Honestly,
they're
I
so
hate those
mid.
games.
Dude, the game is so slow. HP bars are like watching a turtle cross the fucking street, man.
It's like-
I could literally fall
Yeah.
It's
asleep.
like watching a JRPG. You just watch a cutscene every like 2 seconds.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
that's Sun and Moon. We'll get to that later.
Oh, that's not annoying. Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so Diamond, Pearl,
Yeah,
Platinum.
I remember playing like Ruby and Sapphire. I remember playing, and I remember bits of it. Diamond, I can't remember anything at all. Like it was nothing to me.
That being said, Platinum, I would put B personally. Like, it's that much
Platinum-
better.
It's a
think
huge
really-
improvement. I would honestly even put it A, like next to Crystal. Not only did they fix a lot of the issues with like the game engine, and it doesn't run at like a 1 cam an hour pace now.
Oh,
They actually
interesting.
added like a lot of really old Pokemon. In Diamond and
Okay.
Pearl, there were like barely any old Pokemon.
Yeah,
but
the
in
whole
Platinum-
the fire type thing.
yeah. In
Yeah,
Platinum,
no.
they actually
I was
fixed
gonna
it, so
say-
a lot of really cool Pokemon were available in the main game.
Honestly, I
Okay.
would consider Platinum one of the best overall.
Yeah, all
I
these-
personally like it even more than Emerald.
All
Personally,
these
just
like
because
new
the
games,
gen was good.
all
Yes,
these
like,
like
yes,
third
those are
version
old.
games are always the best. Personally, like they are just the
Mhm.
best way to revisit a game.
With that in mind, do we want to move Pikachu up a little bit so it's like not exactly the same?
Yellow is not that big of an improvement. It's
Yeah,
not
no,
the same. That's
Yeah, the main issue is that you have to get stuck with the Pikachu, which
Oh, okay, yeah, that
Yeah,
brings it
yeah.
down a little bit. That's fair. Okay, so we'll put Platinum there. I think.
this is where it starts.
I
Getting
think Pearl, Diamond,
controversial
Platinum are
from now on.
okay, and then I think so. We're on Black and White, yeah.
Black and white,
A-
black and white.
A
too.
tier. I think it's A
A
tier.
So-
A tier.
Funnily enough,
Yeah.
I think Black and White from a generational perspective is mid as fuck, but
No, there's a
Uh,
lot of filler Pokemon. I'll give you that.
I think so many
Yeah.
of these Pokemon are trash.
They had to see. I think they wanted to do the whole soft reboot thing, and because of that, they
It was kind
they
of the
created
idea.
a whole new Pokédex basically. So they had to replace a lot of old Pokemon. Like, oh, we have like Chansey, now we have to create Audino, and we have Sock and we have Hitmonchan. We have to create sock and throw.
Yeah, but they're
now.
all just like lamer versions of the originals.
Yeah, but at the same time, what the games did for like stories and stuff like that,
I can't speak
will
to
have
it.
to give them that. So and like the game itself just looks really nice. I like the pixel art. in
So
it
for me,
as
it's
much
down
as-
here. So I'll leave you guys to pick where they go. Because like I said, I never played them because I looked at the decks and I was like,
Also,
trash. Skip.
Their 2D sprites were some of the best in any game.
Absolutely.
Like,
Yeah, and
I
there
find
is
that their animations were so fluid and great. And a lot of the Pokemon, although yes, were for some people, Gavin, they just didn't resonate. Some of them were just so special in their own right. Like, I find that whenever someone talks about the Gen 5 decks, everyone loves different Pokemon because they all are just special to someone in their own way. It's not like with Gen 1 where everyone just likes these Pokemon and everyone
Yeah,
hates these ones,
it's
but
like-
I find a lot more. Because, like, I know that, like, it's not as important, but, like, Maractus. I quite love Maractus because it's a fun Pokemon. But
and
a
you
lot of
all
people might not
know
even
that
care.
my favorite Pokemon is from this generation, being
Exactly.
the ice cream.
You know what's funny? I think
Wait,
my favorite
actually-
Pokemon is also from this generation. Volcarona.
Volcarona, yeah.
Yeah,
What?
I
And
love.
so it brought in a lot of really fun Pokemon that people loved.
I feel like there was just
And-
way too many misses before than hits for me. But yeah,
I feel like as RPGs, they're fundamentally like probably the best games in the entire series. So I feel
yeah,
like it
and
depends
also
on how
Black
much
and
it
White.
matters.
yeah. Where do you guys
We're
want
all
these?
missing one
Black and White 2
very-
is just better, even better, and that's like saying something.
Okay.
That being said, the story in Black and White 1 is better, in my opinion.
Yes.
Yeah,
So do they
we're-
just
I-
balance out then? Is that what you're
Very
telling me?
important point. We're missing one very important point. N
Mhm.
is by far the best rival in any game.
Yes, to the
And-
point where he's
and-
like genuinely one of the better written characters in the game, in like all the
He's a
games.
fantastic character, and he's genuinely super cool because there's so much left out about him, and he's fun, but he's still mysterious. So you don't
Interesting.
have like someone who's an unstoppable badass like Cynthia, but you don't have a bumbling idiot. You have someone in between that's just
Like the Gen
really,
6
really cool.
rivals.
Like all of Gen 6.
I'm looking at him and I just
Okay.
assume the fan art of him is extremely horny. That's all I can tell
I
from
mean,
him.
yeah.
he is very much like the
He seems like a pretty boy.
dude.
That's
Yeah,
all I
pretty
know.
boys. Yeah, he is
I think
the
he-
Japanese pretty boy.
He's like the prototype for Genshin character.
Did he have Zoroark?
He
That's
had his
not
all
bad
on
for
his team.
Genshin.
Yes,
Of
yes.
course he did. That's why he
There's
reminds
a-
me so much of the Lucario guy in the movie.
There is a theory that he is a Zoroark though.
That's funny.
Because he like talks fast and he's like talks to Pokemon and stuff. So
Interesting.
And
yeah.
he runs off to different rooms and then a Zoroark is there to fight you.
Okay.
He's-
So do we want them in B or do we want to move them to A?
Black and
I
white
moved-
and
Definitely A.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A.
Okay.
A.
We can full stack the four.
black
of
and
them.
white two above the other ones, I'd say.
Yeah.
Okay, like that?
Yeah, like that. There. Yeah, that's fine.
But-
No. Put the black one first. No, not what I meant.
Black and white. Yeah, black then white.
Because then
Okay.
they look like they're fighting each other.
Oh,
Yeah, and
I
then what-
see.
yeah.
Yeah, they're facing each other, man.
There
Okay.
we go.
Speaking of which, while we're here, do we want to move some stuff from A to S? I just feel like A is looking like especially fat right now.
Well, is there a
think-
truly perfect Pokemon game yet? Because we can move them as we go.
I think
Yeah.
Platinum and Emerald should go up.
Platinum and Emerald.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can handle that.
X and Y.
X and Y.
Woo.
Okay, so I actually played these ones, so I can have an
First
opinion.
First
Ah.
F tiers.
F. Definitely F. I'm
No,
sorry, Kat, my
that's
opinion
so
does not matter.
mean.
These games were horrible.
I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm fine with the D. I can manage with the D tier, but in
So-
my opinion, they're F.
So one of the things I actually do like about Pokemon X and Y is,
Uh-huh.
first off, both legendaries I actually like. They both actually look cool, which I cannot
fair.
say for Sword and Shield. The Sword and Shield's
Yeah,
legendaries
That
look
is true.
one legendary looks cool,
Donkey.
the other looks stupid as shit, and then the
Yeah,
third
yeah.
legendary looks terrible.
Okay, you can't say that. No. Opinion revoked.
Wait,
Take
you don't-
away your
Wait, you
opinions about
liked the third
Eternities.
legendary with his big bulbous fucking head?
Oh, you mean Calyrex? Calyrex is not the third legendary.
Oh, sorry, that's who I'm considering the third one. Sorry.
Oh.
No, the third legendary is Eternatus. Tierlist is honestly
skeleton
an
dragon.
absolutely amazing boss fight.
So,
it's not
do you-
easy, but it's
Sure.
not hard.
The only
but
reason-
I quite liked it.
The only reason I consider the other guy to be the third legendary is because he's the one who gets like the quote unquote DLC put on them. Right? Like,
yeah, but also Urshifu gets that too.
because he's crown, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's in the Crown Tundra. The other one's the Isle of
And the
Armor,
DLC is the
which
equivalent of doing that
We're
third
in
game,
X and Y
right?
right now. We will get to Sword and Shield later.
Yeah.
Okay, X and Y. I think D. I think both. I think
Look,
because like how many of the Pokemon are misses really realistically?
okay, the dex is strong, and I as much as I hate Mega Evolution, I will say that it is a popular mechanic.
It also looked
but
cool.
at the same
You had
ti-
some cool
But
looking
at the
Megas.
same time, the thing is, this thing would have been B tier if they just made Z version.
What's your take on fairy types, guys? Because
I
this is the
love
gen
fairies.
entries.
Fairies my
Yeah,
second
I
favorite
think they're
type.
great.
Yeah,
I think
and
it was
also
a great
X and-
addition because I feel like it balanced out the field a bit more. I know we at a time we had really strong fairy types because of it, but it felt like we kind of needed that extra type to
Yeah,
fill out
dragon
some
and-
of the spaces. The
Dragon
dragon,
I like how-
fighting and stuff were way too.
the only thing
good.
I think we need is I think we need to give another weakness to fairies
Yeah.
because it only has two. But it's not like electric where it only has one because it has not very many other resistances.
And I mean,
But
sorry, go on.
I feel like a fairy, it should have another one. It's only weak to poison and steel, both of which are not primarily really used on attack very much.
Like, I would give it to like Bug because Bug needs
Yeah.
something.
I
Maybe
agree.
ice
That was what I was
As a
thinking.
bug trainer, I agree. Give me more super effectives, please.
Ice
Thank you.
doesn't need more super effective hits. It needs more resistances, if anything. But
Fair.
that's a different
Okay,
thing.
moving on from typing.
That's a different tier list.
I do want to point out that all three of the starters, pretty much bangers right through. Like they
And
are
X
all.
and Y?
I love Chestnut. People love Delphox, and Greninja's sick.
People like Delphox for other reasons.
I said people like Delphox, not I like Delphox for
Yeah,
context.
for other reasons.
And then Go-Goat is great. And then I'm looking like scrolling through here, and
Okay.
I'm like,
To be fair, one of my other favorites is, and I will say that that one's a good one. And Diancie is also from this game. But in general, I just this game is not the best in my opinion.
which is why it's in D tier. As much as I think the Dex is pretty much all hits. It's like Gujo's my second favorite Pokemon of all time. And
Yeah.
it's from this gen.
I really enjoyed it because it's the first like full like 3D like of the main gen or main
Yeah. But I will
Fine.
say about the whole 3D thing, that's another argument in itself. Oh, Ara's gone. The whole argument about whether they should have moved to 3D and stuff, that's a different thing. Because people like Gen 5's art style more, and the 3D models are not the most popular. Look,
What did they do to Typhlosion?
to be fair, I've seen screenshots of Typhlosion. Apart from Typhlosion in Legends Arceus, which already has the fire on all the time. I've seen screenshots of it in Scarlet and Violet, and it has the fire on all the time in battle, so that's at least a good thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, we won't see that until much later.
Okay.
It's on this tier list, by the way.
But yeah, I think realistically, I think it's fine for us all just to go like, yep, that's probably about there.
Yeah,
it was fine.
That is indeed
And-
how it be.
it is indeed one of the games of all time.
It's such like
I
a
do-
backhanded
yeah.
like compliment.
Yeah.
I like I said, I think the Dex is solid. I just I got bored of it. Is this okay? It was
No, that's fair. I played the hell out of it because I found this was the first one where I think you could just freely catch EVs, and so I was able to I just ground the hell out of and made my EV team in that game.
Also, wasn't X and Y the one where they made the XP share hit every single Pokemon in your party?
Yes,
Yes.
Yeah,
which was
this is a
great.
hot take, but like I actually do like that.
It's
A lot of people don't.
fine.
Yeah, people don't like it because you took away the challenge about
It's
experience
Pokemon. There is no
grinding.
challenge.
Yeah, there is no challenge anyway.
Yeah.
People always say that the old games are harder because they were children when they played it.
If you think a
You were
Pokemon game is
child
hard,
when
you're
you
bad at
fought
games.
Cynthia.
And plus, not to mention, like, have you? Has anyone anybody in that like argument has not played like any RPG ever. Like all of your party members get EXP in RPGs. It's not new, you
The
know.
only benefit I really found from having it not spread to your party is it made you use every Pokemon more and use more of your party and actually get used to the Pokemon. But even then, it's not that important. I feel that it could be improved. It just one small. If there's like at the beginning of the game, you could choose whether or not it spread to your whole party. So if somebody wanted that extra challenge,
Yeah,
they could turn it off and be like, yeah, I now have to.
If you want it as a choice, I think that's fine. I appreciate being able to not have to spend hours and hours grinding.
Wait, we're not a Sword and Shield yet?
It might be the kind of thing where you. Because remember how hard it was to level up a Magikarp?
Yeah. Fourth row after Pokemon Go. Fourth row
There
after
we go.
Pokemon Go. Yeah,
Alright.
Sun, Moon, Ultra Sun, and Ultra Moon.
I will say both of these
Wait,
decks
Ultra Sun and
aren't
Ultra Moon
bad
get away.
either.
They're one of the
okay.
most games of all time.
Look, this is my personal favorite game out of all of them.
Yeah, that's fine.
So
I think
I would rate them highly, but that's just me.
okay.
They are
I like
Tutorial
the
City.
aesthetic. I like the aesthetic, but I did not like that they removed gyms.
I thought the new system was cool though. I like the fact that we're going back to remakes after. But no, I do think that the idea of moving away from the default structure is actually really interesting with the islands and stuff like that. I just wish that they ended in a gym battle at the very end of each one. Or
Okay, also Ultra Sun and Moon is on like every game here. That being said, it's not that hard.
okay, let me ask you this:
But,
Ultra Sun and Moon better or worse than regular?
See,
Better,
Sun and
actually.
Moon is a better game to play, but Sun and Moon has much better story. So it's better as like
same
a
boat as the black and white.
story-driven
Okay,
game.
they can hang out together. First off, just a couple things I want to bring up here. The decks for these ones, not bad. Not a bad decks. Nothing.
It's not a bad decks at all.
It's fine. I see.
I love the introduction of hello inversions was really fun to me. I really like the idea that these are the same
Agreed.
species with variants.
I also
and I like
really
that they're
was a fun
continuing
idea.
Yeah, I think
they're continuing it now, so which is a good thing. Like they've been continuing it for every game since, which is nice.
Yeah.
I think the biggest miss
Yeah.
for me with Ultra Sun and Moon or Sun and Moon in general is the Ultra Beasts, and that's just because I don't care for sci-fi.
A lot of them are just really not that good looking Pokemon. So
Yeah.
they're just kind of flat. Like
They're barely
especially something like
Pokemon, and that's the
Zerkatree.
point. They're barely Pokemon, and that's the point. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think
it just feels weird.
just because it's
They don't
intentional doesn't
feel
mean
like
it's good.
Yes.
Yeah.
I really like Sun and Moon because they did so much different. They took risks and they did different things, which I was like, yeah, this still is like a Pokemon game. Like it still plays a lot, but there were so many things that were different that makes it stand out and make it more interesting to me than previous.
Also, unpopular opinion. I like Rotom decks. I like the
That's
fact
cute.
that Rotom is in a
Yeah, that's
Pokedex.
cute as
It's
hell.
funny, and it makes
Yeah.
it makes really dark Pokedex entries.
I have zero issue with Rotom decks. Anyone who does is a jerk.
No, Rotom's cool.
People hated it. People hated it when it came out because he talks too much. He always talks to you.
Shut up.
He's
That's
like
fun.
Navi.
That's fun.
Not
We
even
played.
that big a deal.
I have played like 12 Zelda games, and Navi never shuts the hell up. So shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Navi isn't a talking phone. She is an orb of light that is annoying.
Yeah, and it's not like Rotom actually speaks to you. It's just like thinks bubbles, which is just like whatever.
Yeah, you can ignore it. It doesn't interrupt your gameplay.
It's not the same 3 voice clips over and over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, where are we putting these bad boys? Because we got 4 of them here. Where do we want to put them?
Okay, hear me out.
C.
I know it's going to sound weird. Ultra in C, and then Sun Moon below Diamond and Pearl.
No, I can't do that.
Honestly, that's why I feel
would keep
that
them
just
in B.
because
Whoa.
I think that's a bit
Yeah.
much. I think maybe this is the most I would do for that because I do think that they are
Yeah, that-
fine.
I
They,
think that
take
works.
that.
I didn't finish it, to be fair, because
Yeah.
I have a very small attention span, and I need you to know that I had owned my Switch for 4 years, I think, and I have finished 2 games, and literally both of them were in the last month. So I just finished Breath of the Wild, and I just finished Mario Rabbids.
Wait, you only just finished Breath of the Wild?
Yes, I literally finished it
Wait,
on stream like a month ago.
Did you finish Odyssey at least?
No, I've never even turned on Odyssey.
Oh,
Oh
no.
my god.
I own it. I just
Bruh.
never turned it on.
Bro, I have like 890 moons. That's where I stopped. Like, jeez.
Dude, I have no attention span. I just always go back to playing my competitive PvP games.
Yeah, I understand why you didn't play through Sun and Moon. That game it requires a long attention span.
Yeah.
Yeah, I finished it. I fought blue and red at the end.
That's nice.
Yeah,
All right.
that's another cool thing that old people come back.
Sword and
Sword and
Shield, D.
Oh, Sword and Shield. Yeah, I have to give it.
Okay,
a
but
even-
above these
but-
two, because
Yes,
I think that
definitely
the
above
fact that it
those
added
two.
in like all that fun multiplayer stuff is really cool.
And also the DLC
And-
makes it very cool. Like
The DLC does make it cool as well. But the thing I want to say is Wild Zones. The Wild Zone, honestly, I know some people don't like it, but I loved the idea of it.
That's
A large
so
open
good.
area where so many different Pokemon are available in different sections. Instead of having to run to different routes where you have to find different Pokemon, it's all in one area.
No, I
and
love
it
that.
feels so fluid, and it makes the world feel a lot more alive. And I loved that. The only thing that it does ruin is Nuzlocke.
I'm literally so excited for
Yeah.
the Wild Zone. Like the Wild Zone was such a good idea that I'm super excited for the new game because of the fact that it's like isn't everywhere functionally the
is.
Wild
The
Zone.
entire game is
Mhm.
the entire game is a wild
Yeah.
zone, and you can go wherever you want at any point. So
Yeah.
it means that it's even more fluid. So if you want to go for a very specific and very strong team, you can go right for it. Or if you just want to do whatever you want, again, it's right there in front of you. You can do whatever you want, and that's going to be great.
That's literally my biggest complaint with Sword and Shield was like I wish it was just all Wild Zone. And that's why I'm so amped up for the new game. And I'm like, finally, a fucking Pokemon game that I personally am going to play through beginning to end. Let's
Speaking
go.
of all wilds, where we put in Arceus?
Oh yeah, Legends
Ooh,
Arceus. Yeah,
We'll get there. We'll get there. Actually, no, I guess
Easy yes.
Second last.
Arceus,
Yeah,
easy yes.
guys.
I adore
Second
the
last one.
game.
Second last one.
Okay, you
No,
guys love
that
it.
one,
It's
yeah.
fine. I haven't played it. I don't know why I've
Arceus
never
was
played
easy.
it.
All
Yes,
wild
right.
areas.
I think the only reason I didn't
I-
play it was because I was like the aesthetic was like mid to me, I guess. But
Oh, aesthetically, it was
I-
not that impressive, but the way they made it, like the whole like you can capture Pokemon like super easily, and it's all about building up that dex. And I spent oh god, how many hours did I spend? I definitely spent over 100 hours in the first area without actually progressing the story.
Jesus.
Just
Oh yeah, other people did that.
using Pokemon because I was just like I want to do these things. I want to do the research. This is the thing that's
Yeah.
fun.
Okay, where's
Oh, yeah,
Fire
no,
Red
that's
and Leaf
another
Green?
thing I really liked about that dex is that if you wanted to get a good dex level, you didn't just have to catch every Pokemon. You had to use them. You had to catch a
Yeah.
bunch of them. You had to watch them use moves. It felt like you were actually researching the Pokemon. It was really unique and super,
Yeah, and then finally
super
when you get
fun.
like when you finally get the dex entry, he like fills out the whole dex, words and stuff
It's
like that. It's
so
like,
much. You
some of them
you,
are really
you don't get
fun.
the information right away. It's you have to get the information itself. It's so cool.
Okay.
One of my
Let's go-
favorite like tiny details about Legends Arceus is the fact that you can find Porygon. The fact
Yeah.
that there's like those space time distortions, and when you finally research that, when you finally get the whole dex entry and stuff, the professor's like, I have no idea how this thing is alive. What the hell is
Yeah.
this?
What is
Yeah,
this Eldritch being?
It's so cool, the meta-ness of the game. And it was put together so well. And the city, or like the town, it feels lived in. There are people, and it feels like a genuine small village
Yeah, you have
trying
to
to
actually
survive.
you have to actually do side quests for people and build
Yeah.
up the town.
Like actual
It feels
side
like a
quests. It was so fun.
it feels like a game with like an
genuinely-
actual vision, you know?
It really was. It was special. It wasn't as polished as it could be, but it was still such a
Yes, it-
beautiful game.
This actually felt like the most RPG of like the mainline Pokemon game. Well, I guess this is the mainline, is it? Technically.
Yes, it is
It's
technically
technically
counted
not.
as a main
Okay.
by the devs because it
Okay.
added like actual official new mons.
Also,
Fair.
I just have to say it, Hisuian Typhlosion, S tier Pokemon. S tier.
Yeah.
He's beautiful.
was-
I like regular
Incredible.
Typhlosion more, but I do think that Husean one is cool too. So I'm not gonna like hate on it.
It was a very fun. Yeah.
It was
The
a
thing
fun
that I
game.
think bothered. I found the most kind of meh and was disappointed by was the battles with the big
The
How
noble
are they-
ones.
the infected Pokemon.
Yeah, the noble
The alpha.
ones.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
like
alphas
those.
you're talking about?
Also, that
Team
final
Golden.
boss, like I bent you over, man. I was
Oh,
really
yeah.
Oh, the Arceus fight. Oh my god.
The I think he
Yeah.
meant the Giratina one.
Oh, the Giratina is hard, but have you fought Arceus?
Oh,
I was talking about both actually. Like just the
Oh,
entire
okay.
final run of that game is just prepared to fuck
The
you up.
Arceus
Ways
fight
that the
is
series doesn't.
unrelenting. It is
So
it does
So
feel like fighting
brutal.
a god, and the music
And
is,
that's the
as
important-
well.
And that's another thing I loved. The Arceus fight was so brutal because it is literally a hand of a god. And it is fantastic. And in the end, you don't technically catch Arceus. It's like, okay, you beat me. This is only fair.
I love how you guys are still going on this when we've already put it in S tier. Here, I'll put it
Yeah,
right
it goes
there. You go.
Honestly,
There we go.
best game.
Perfect,
Best
yeah.
game.
It's a lot to talk about with with Legends because it did so much different. Like this like as much as I thought like Alola was great for the differences it did, Legends was just like, okay, no, you
Legends
can use the game.
broke out. It broke out far beyond any other game, but it worked so well in its favor. If they'd done like even a couple things differently, I think your game probably would have fallen apart. But
Oh,
the
yeah.
way that they did it, it just stuck together so beautifully. And I think that's just what makes it one of the most Pokemon games of all time.
Okay, let's get going from there.
Okay.
Let's start the
So
remake.
hard gold till silver next.
Well,
We
Fire
still
Red and Leaf
rank
Green
those.
first. Fire Red and Leaf Green.
Fire Red and
Oh, okay, okay.
I think
Yeah.
B tier at
Yeah,
least.
B. Yeah, B. Yeah.
I
They're
guess
about on the same level as
I'd say they're better than Ruby and Sapphire.
Yeah.
At the very
Yeah.
least. Yeah.
They are because they did fix Psychic, of course, by that time.
funny enough, I found them about as hard to play as the original Red and Blue. Like I actually could not play through the entire game. I played through the start and was like, "Hey, this is nostalgic and fun," and then I was like, "I'm bored."
Yeah, it's like it gets a little bit slow by like third gym time. Like
Again,
it starts slowing down.
Yeah, it's the same as the original games, as far as I'm concerned. Like it's still good.
Oh, and
But it's-
before we move on to
Heart Gold and Soul Silver,
the
yeah.
other Gen 1 the other Gen 1 remakes.
Oh, the other ones.
let's
Oh my
go.
god.
Right?
I will say, I know these get a lot of
Easy.
hate, but I will say I like some of the smaller decisions made. I
Yeah.
like the following Pokemon. I think they're better in
Yeah,
this
like
game
that
than
you
Heart
could
Gold,
dress
Soul
your
Silver.
buddy Pokemon up.
They are
But here's my
perfect for
one
baby's
request.
first Pokemon
So-
game.
Yes,
Yeah.
I have one request. Eevee goes
Yeah.
before the Pikachu.
Sure, I don't care. They are
That
the
Because
doesn't
Eevee
matter.
was a better starter.
Yeah,
Eevee
it was
they had more
broken in that
type
game.
coverage. They
I
had more
do-
type coverage and they were more fun. And they are an Eevee. They just genuinely are a cooler Pokemon.
I was just really disappointed because I was hoping for more than just it being like another Gen 1 remake, and then that turned out to be all it was, and I was just like, oh.
It's a Gen 1 remake with
Also,
Pokemon
it felt
connectivity.
really weird with the. It was fun to do because it was hilarious, but when you chained Pokemon together and caught the same Pokemon over and over and over and over, you got higher chances of random Pokemon showing up. So there was
Yeah.
a section of the game where another Zapdos, Moltres, or Articuno could show up, or you could
Yeah,
find
that's in
a.
post game.
The thing that sounds weird. I have a level 2 Charizard.
That's really funny.
Oh, you can
Oh
also
my
find
God. It
like
is not
hundreds of shinies.
It is not ripped into the game by some illegal source. It is genuine from the game. It is a level 2, and it is wrong. But
It's ridiculous.
it was ridiculous how that game worked. So I just ended up chaining like 150 Pidgeys, and then just getting this Pokemon that's like, wow, you're a level 2.
Okay,
Yeah.
Let's Go are pretty. They're mid. They're not even mid. They're bad. They're bad. They're great if you've never played a Pokemon game before, or you like have like a small child you're playing with.
Yeah, I don't like that they've completely removed fighting unless in a trainer battle.
Isn't the
Yeah,
most?
that was so boring.
I feel like the only thing that it did cool was the fact technically you could play 2 players on one console, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting.
And I
It did
think
make
that-
the game very, very, very.
But it was
Buddy.
funny because I ended up just playing it with myself, so I had 2 Joy-Cons and I was just throwing them at the same time to get the perfect throw.
My dog
it's
is
a
climbing on
great,
me.
like, hey, I want to play this with my partner who doesn't play Pokemon game.
Yeah, and it's also like nice for like shiny hunting, and
Mhm.
the fact that Meltan and Manmeth is pretty cool. But that's the last thing that I have to say about
Oh
it.
yeah, Meltan, Melmetal, great, love them.
Okay.
Some of my
Argos over.
I think these are probably my
Stay
favorite.
here.
I'm comfortable with that, honestly. I think they're so good.
honestly, yes.
You know what?
They
I'm
were-
That's
okay with
fine.
that
Yeah,
too.
I'm fine with that.
Heart Gold and Soul
They're-
Silver are my favorite Pokemon like mainline games.
This was the first
They are
game that
beautiful
actually
games.
let your Pokemon follow you after Yellow.
Mhm.
Yep, it was fantastically made. They still had fantastic sprites. Gen 2 decks, I love. All the new Pokemon from then were really good. And I just felt like it was a really fluid, it was only upgrades from the original game. And they really
It still
covered so
had
much
a few
ground.
flaws, but I was fine with. I could look
Yep.
past them.
Even the
I
gimmick
agreed. They had
of
flaws, but they were good ones.
even the gimmick of the little pedometer thing worked well enough, and I didn't mind it. I thought it was fun.
Yeah,
thought
it
it
was
was
Too bad they don't really sell those anymore. Then.
like how many steps does it take to get my egg game or
Plus, I don't know. I like Gen 2. It's really, really good, and I think that these are just like the polished, perfect
Yeah.
version of that game.
I find that the best base game of any games are the Gen 5, but the best upgrades all come from 432. All of them, the remakes, are so much better than the base ones, but like,
Yeah.
Gen
Okay.
5 had the best base games.
So now we're looking at Omega.
Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire.
I feel like
which
they
in
didn't
my
hit quite as well as Heart Gold and Soul Silver for me.
Yeah, but they are much better than Ruby Sapphire. Not as good.
So like that, maybe you think?
I put them like right above Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, personally.
Yeah,
That's
honestly,
my
I
take.
agree with
But,
they're-
but
because
above
the addition of
I-
Megas were not
I
that
think that's
good.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, but look, as much as I don't like Megas, Mega Rayquaza is pretty cool.
No, it's stupid because they made him too strong and then it just ruined everything. Because why would you play anything other than your really, really impressively strong Rayquaza?
Yes, but Funny Dragon go new and destroy everything.
I like how the competitive
Now,
community
hear me out.
really had to
The
make a
best
new
one was
tier
Z
for
moves
this
because you could edit the game and then Skitty could use a Z move and Skitty was tiny.
Okay.
And they would just have a giant orb of light.
Where is Brilliant Diamond and Pearl?
Oh,
I could not
God,
care less
F tier.
about these.
Oh my god, I forgot
F
this
tier.
existed.
F tier.
F
F tier.
I-
They're actually worse than Diamond and Pearl. I don't know how they managed.
Really?
They are literally
Yeah, they were not
buggier
very
than Diamond
good.
and Pearl.
The
You
sad thing is,
cannot.
they're better than Let's Go, though, I would say. They're better than Let's
Yeah.
Go.
Hey,
I'll
hey,
give them
hey.
that.
Let's go.
I so badly wanted them to be good. I beat the game, and the whole game, it just didn't feel very good.
Yeah.
Fun fact: when this game released, the speed run of it was about 10 to 15 minutes because of how buggy it was.
So I just
Oh my
want to
god.
argue one thing for Let's Go being better than them. Let's Go, we might not like what they did to Pokemon for it, and it might be like silly and stupid easy, but that's kind of the point.
And also, it's very cute. The art is very cute.
All of the things we dislike about it were at least deliberate. The things we don't like
Yes,
about Brilliant Diamond and
fair.
Pearl is that they
Fun fact.
made a bad game.
Well, because this is the first game that Game Freak did not make,
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
which is very weird to say.
I don't-
Also, the other funny thing about this is, you know the Pokemon Spinda, right?
Yeah.
The thing that has the randomized spot patterns. That
Yeah.
thing apparently broke the game so bad that you cannot transfer Spinda in or out of the game anymore.
Oh.
Because the coding of the spots and stuff, it gets like broken when you transfer it out of the game.
That's
So
silly.
they were like, okay, just stop it, just restrict the game.
Oh.
So-
Ah.
So So yeah, that thing is unfortunate.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
bad.
and-
It's a bad game.
It's a bad game.
The worst remakes we've had, and I think that part of that is
the last really Pokemon style Pokemon game, like Pokemon game on here is Coliseum and XD.
Yeah,
you
so
wanna
I'm just
add those.
yeah. So first off,
Yeah.
I'm comfortable with
That's
both of these being really, really good games. First and foremost, I just
Yeah,
want to preface that. I think
it's to the right. Okay, to the middle of the first row.
I'm gonna say
Ground
XD
and
and
version.
F because it's
And what about
named
Stadium?
XD.
Stadium is pretty similar to Coliseum.
yeah.
Not really.
No. Stadium's different. Stadium's different.
Stadium's like a battle simulator.
These two are RPGs. And I think they're both pretty solid. I have no complaint. I honestly think they're both really fun. The RPGs are cool.
Yeah.
I'm just
I
trying to
love
decide,
I like the idea.
do we like XD more because you could steal other trainers' Pokemon?
Both
Those
of
are
them
both
are good.
good.
Yeah,
But XD actually is better.
XD was also
The addition of Shadow Pokemon was a really fun idea.
Yeah.
And the fact that they still keep it to this day in Go is proof that it's a good idea.
and
As much as
XD
Go
let you get
sucks.
XD was one of the only ways to get Lugia at that point too.
Yeah, if you didn't want to transfer it from a Gen 2 game.
You actually couldn't transfer anything from Gen 2 back
Oh
then.
yeah. You
Gen
can transfer
3
it
was
up to
literally
Gen
just
3,
like
yeah.
Yeah, this was the only way you could get Lugia that from the GameCube forward.
Also, fun fact: the special design that Shadow Lugia got, the person who designed that is the same person who designed Vanillux.
That's funny.
Oh
But
damn, shit.
do we think that these two RPGs are top of A?
No, I don't think they're top of it.
No, I would say
I think
they're
you
not.
actually-
Yeah, right there is fine in my opinion.
Yeah.
I can do this if you prefer. If you guys want to split it down the middle that way.
I think
I'd
that
actually
works.
say, yeah, Coliseum actually
good.
kind of drags a bit, in my opinion. I like XD more because I feel like the pace is like a bit faster throughout. I actually replayed
Yeah.
this like a couple years ago, so
Yeah,
I
the
kind
only
of have
problem
like
with
a fresh
XD
memory.
is there's a lot of running around to random points in the desert.
So an
That makes no
RPG.
sense.
That's true.
Okay,
yeah.
but
Lots of backtracking.
Yeah, B is getting a bit full. Should we move the Ultra Sun?
No,
Ultra
no, no,
Moon
no,
gap?
no.
Right
No.
next, yeah,
No.
right next.
I'm
I'm
cool with
okay
that.
with that.
they're fine.
I think B is going to get big.
Yeah, but-
B is going to be one of our largest.
We can put those together. We said they were together
Because
anyways.
Every Pokemon game is mid, technically.
Yeah.
Also,
The tier list will like adjust based on how many go in there, so it's fine.
Yeah, no.
so if you guys want to like direct your attention to the streaming chat, like in the little voice channel, I actually did write out all of the notable spin-offs that are in this tier list. I skipped some. Like I don't think we're really all that big on ranking fucking Pokemon Shuffle out here or anything like that.
I don't know.
I have
had
strong
fun.
opinions
The
of
Ranger
Pokemon Rumble.
series. God, those were stressful.
Okay.
Yeah,
Do we want to start going into your list there? Or do we want to wait till we'll get into
Sure,
those
we
after,
can-
I think. I think that's the way to go.
we
We'll-
can take care of Stadium and Coliseum, Center Coliseum Revolution.
Those are near the top
Just
of the
because
list.
it's an
anyways,
easy
yeah.
one to do.
Yeah.
Where do we want to put Go, guys?
I think goes good. I think so. Okay, I'm gonna do a little monologue here real quickly. I think that the idea of Go would have been hypothetically S tier. But
Yes.
I think what we actually got is low B.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, I can
I
go
would
with
feel
that.
Because the-
when the
Just
game
it
released,
could have been so good.
when the
Yeah.
game released, it was an S tier. Currently, with how they're managed
Mhm.
microtransactions and stuff, it's down to F. But like, I'm okay with keeping it in B.
I don't think
Yeah.
Pokemon Go was ever S tier because we never.
Because
So, the idea
It was-
when it was released that it actually worked, sure, absolutely. If we had gotten the actual step indicator that worked and functioned and didn't suck donkey,
Yeah.
It was
See,
funny
it
at
was
the
the
beginning of the
closest
game. You
we
could
had.
just get in your car, drive, and have an evolved Pokemon by the end.
it was the closest we got to world peace.
it was.
And
I do
literally,
remember that.
There was like, what was it? A month where people were just absolutely obsessed with this game, and no one had any complaints. Everyone
Yeah.
I mean-
was
Pokemon Go
Pokemon
as a
Go.
whole, baby.
People
That was-
who did not do Pokemon at all in my school were like actually wanting to know about Pokemon for once, and I was like, shocked.
It definitely got people into it. Yeah.
I cannot tell you how many power banks I sold when I was working at the source.
Yeah. I bet.
stonks.
Because not only did this game first off, on release it was unplayable. I want to
Oh
put that
yeah,
Like the actual release was unplayable. It only really got playable once they took out the coolest mechanic of it, which was tracking Pokemon. You had to use a separate website to play it, but the app itself is very intensive on your hardware, and it burns through your battery.
Yeah, it really was. Okay, but whenever someone found out there was like a Snorlax in a park, and suddenly there's like 200 people in the park.
Yeah.
No, it was a vibe. I
was
loved
crazy.
it. It was also the most cardio I've ever done in my life.
Detective Pikachu.
So,
The
sorry,
game.
do we... Okay, so we just did the RPGs. Let's do Stadium, because that's... The RPGs are functionally
Stadium,
like
Stadium
Battle
2.
Sim-
S.
and
Fight
Battle
me.
Revolution.
That one's
because they're also
Stadium 2.
kind of.
Okay.
Stadium
Battle
is the
Revolution.
last one. There's another stadium right at the bottom, last one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
S.
Stadium 1.
S for both.
I like the mini games in Stadium.
That's exactly it. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, Stadium 2 is the one with the mini games.
What I-
Stadium
Both have
1
mini
was the.
They
Oh,
both
they
did.
both have it. Oh, sorry about
Yeah.
that. But the Stadium 1 was the one with only the Gen 1 mons, and Stadium 2 was also Gen 2.
Okay, so how about this? There, I'll give you that.
Perfect. Oh,
I-
I'm okay with that.
Pokemon Stadium 2 is one of my favorite games of all time, and I am still so shocked that Nintendo is just like, we hate money, so we're not going to make Pokemon Stadium 3, which would just print fucking money.
No, we're just
They
gonna
actually
make a
did. It's
phone
called
game.
Battle Revolution.
No!
Yeah, it's
Where's
Battle
Battle Revolution? Where's Battle Revolution?
It's first row, third last.
Third last. Sorry,
That one, yeah.
F.
Oh my
Trash.
god.
Absolute
Wow.
garbage game. You do not take
Whoa.
you do not say you're making a spiritual successor of Pokemon Stadium and then skip the best part of Pokemon Stadium,
I guess they didn't put the mini games in there, but I don't know.
which
man.
is the best part of Pokemon Stadium.
I mean, the mini games are pretty cool. But
Me
I
and
don't
my
know
friends would spend
about
like,
it.
I cannot tell you how much time I have sunk in playing Pokemon Stadium mini games. I can tell you how much time I spent playing the fucking Gym Rush. 3 hours, maybe.
Man.
Yeah.
Dude, Gavin, you're talking all this shit, but I bet none of us could fucking what am I going to say? You know what? Fine, I'll give you that. Just put it down there.
Fine.
I can't
Yeah,
believe you're
I'm
coming
fine.
back to it.
I'm fine with keeping it there because of what it did to the fan base. That game has ruined what people think is good animations.
Here,
People always are like, "Oh, people should make it like Battle Revolution." Oh my god, I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
the problem is like, who wants a Pokemon game that doesn't have any of the RPG elements? Because that's all Battle Evolution is, right? It's literally just like do Pokemon
It is
battles.
it is just a Pokemon like gauntlet kind of thing.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, every other Pokemon game has that, and you know what? It's fine. It's after you beat the Elite Four, you go to the Battle Tower, and you can do that. But guess what? That's not the most exciting part of the game.
It's hyped for the Battle Tower following. The only reason I was hyped
Dex.
because it was Toby Fox's music was in it.
Yeah, but like, oh god, Battle Evolution's so lame. The only thing Battle Evolution I actually think does well is doesn't Battle Evolution have some sort of integration when you're trying to move Pokemon up the Dex? Don't you have to use
Right.
Battle Evolution at one
Yes.
point?
Yeah.
Here, I'll move it to D tier because it's part of the chain link of moving stuff from older generations.
Okay, what's up next?
Oh, can we just quickly throw this in here because I think it's stupid?
What is that? The
Pokemon box?
or whatever it is.
Pokemon box.
I
The
don't
fact
know.
they charge you for that is
Pokemon box
bogus.
is Pokemon box is just Pokemon Home, but like 20 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like we don't even really need to rank it. You know what
Where's
I mean?
home?
Like,
Where's Home? Because Home is also
Home
trash.
Not here because it's not
Home
considered
is
an
not a
anime.
game.
Okay, Home is also F tier though. I just need everyone to know that because
Bank is also not here because
F tier.
Bank is also not a game.
they're all F tier. Stop trying
Yo.
to make money off of people trying to just move their Pokemon from game to game. That's bogus. Fuck
That's
you.
So annoying.
Stop
Puzzle
being
League
greedy.
and Puzzle Challenge are A tier games.
Yeah?
Fight me. I love Battle.
They are pretty fun. They
Okay.
are pretty fun. Yeah. Can we
I
get to
can't remember
the
if I played
best
either of them.
series? Can we get to the best Pokemon series of all of them?
Is it Dungeon?
Mystery Dungeon?
Yes, Mystery Dungeon. Yes.
Hey!
Okay, I actually genuinely do think Mystery Dungeon games are awesome. Where's the full list here? Okay.
There's one near the bottom.
That one, yeah. There is that one which is
that a
one which is
dungeon?
Super.
Is that a Mystery Dungeon?
That one.
Mystery Dungeon was
That's
pretty-
super Mystery Dungeon. Where is Gates to Infinity? I think that one's Gates to Infinity. Yeah. And Red and Blue Rescue Team. Yeah.
Yep.
Hear me out. I feel the Mystery Dungeon belong in their own tier list because they're their own set of games.
Sure, but we can technically
Yeah.
tier list them themselves
Yeah.
based off of these letters still. So we can
Yeah.
Okay.
just ignore what's here and we can put them out. So what is the best Mystery Dungeon game?
Time, Darkness, Sky,
Sky.
whichever one. Yeah,
Where's
those
this?
three.
Where are they?
Sky.
The
I'd say.
Sky.
Guide my
The
mouse.
white one.
This one?
No, that's
The
Gateway
ones on the
Bay.
left. The ones on the left.
Yeah, the three to the left.
These three?
Those first three, yeah.
Okay,
Because
you think
they're all like variants of each other.
okay, and are those perfect versions of Mystery Dungeon or are they just really, really good?
They are the best Mystery Dungeons.
Do you want them at S or A is the question I'm asking.
I would say it's Time, Darkness, Sky. I don't know which one is like the best out of the three personally.
Doesn't
but-
matter.
Okay.
Okay.
People who are more invested in the series.
Okay, we'll put them there. It's fine. What's the next best?
DX, the first one there.
Okay.
Yeah, that one.
And
Yeah,
then
that one can go to A. Red and blue can go to B.
okay.
The back two, yeah, those two.
And put red
Um,
below blue because red is on the Game Boy Advance and blue is on the DS. So I
Sure.
just feel like blue is just
And then
automatic.
Super can be in C, and then Gates can be in D.
Okay, which one is this
Yeah,
game?
I agree with that.
Yeah, that's Gates.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Mystery Dungeon's out of the way. We did it.
Correct.
I've played maybe a little bit of one. I think they're neat. How do we feel about these bad boys?
Is
Yeah,
that
these
Ranger?
How do we feel about
Oh,
Pokemon
Ranger.
Beyblade?
all of them are low tier except Shadows of Almia, which was like B tier, I'd say.
Okay, where's Shadows?
Yeah,
Do you
I
see it? I'm blind, and these resolution are real weird.
Yo, I'm going blind too. Oh, you've already got Shadows of Almia there. The other one is next to the trading card one on the top row.
Oh, that
Yeah,
one.
that one right there. Yeah.
Okay, so this is Shadows?
Yeah, that one's Shadows. I'd say it's like a solid B tier, honestly. And then the
Yeah,
rest
like-
are kind of like.
Which is that?
They have fun stories. The Ranger games.
Yeah.
The Ranger games are stressful.
Yeah, they have the spinning thing. You have to like circle the mon.
It's how you
When
work
were
out your
running
wrists.
around on your Raikou, just trying to circle. It felt like that meme of the guy who's like slamming his keyboard wildly while sweating so profusely.
Okay, what is this? Is this that seems to be Pokemon cards?
That's the trading card. That's the trading card
Okay,
digital version.
is it a good
or
one?
whatever. It was on the Game Boy.
Oh no, the
Or-
Game Boy one is actually down there.
Oh.
If you look below the PC one,
Oh,
it has like the literal Game Boy Color like box
Oh,
art.
okay,
on it.
yeah, that one. Yeah, that one.
That
Sorry,
one's pretty good. It's kind of like an RPG where you actually go around and there's like different gyms and you earn cards from them. I'm inclined to say like B or A on it, honestly.
Yeah, it was surprisingly good for being a first game.
Is this a phone app?
Mhm.
Is this a Pokemon
No,
card
that-
game?
It's the online.
It's like the
one, it's on
MTG
PC.
arena
Yeah,
of
it's
Pokemon.
the literal online version of the Pokemon card game.
Meaning you buy Pokemon cards online and you get the
So
code
if
to
it's,
put
if
in.
it's anything like Arena, it's F tier.
Screw your microtransactions. Moving on.
I-
Where's this one go? There, good enough. I have no idea.
Yeah, I
we
haven't
can
tried
take care of take care of Conquest. Conquest is S in my opinion.
What is
It's based. Yeah.
Conquest
Conquest
a
is
JRPG?
Fire Emblem.
okay? Fire
It's
Emblem's
Fire
amazing.
Emblem.
I'll take it. Yeah, sure. I love Fire Emblem.
Okay, I can see it there. Your Pokemon Rumble, easy F tier.
Oh,
Yeah, same.
Rumble.
Put all
Rumble
of the
sucks.
put all of the Rumble games at the very bottom, like every single one of them.
There's
See,
one
Rumble
in
sucks,
black.
but I
It's
love it.
6 from the left on the top.
Okay.
Rumble sucks, but I do love it. Unite. Can we just quickly throw Unite in like B or A or something like that?
I'm
I
comfortable
put
with
it
United
on
and S. It is
I put it
as
on
good as I
A.
would ever want it to be. You know what? I'll put it in high A because I do think United has some flaws, but it's also really fun.
It's a very well made game, and it is free, and you don't have to spend any money on it to
No.
have fun. And it's a very well put together game. It's not your standard Pokemon game, but it runs well.
Yeah.
I have very little complaints. The only complaints I have are hardware restricted complaints that make that I'm like, okay, I guess because you put it on this system, now you have to do a few things that I don't necessarily agree with, which is like the weird auto aim thing where one button will target players, one will target mobs, and it's got a little bit of like silliness to it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are issues with like the meta things and all of that, but those are, particular things that we don't need to get into.
Yeah, I still think the game's really fun though, and I think they made a
Like when
fun version of a
Grid was first
MOBA.
introduced. Oh god.
Yeah.
I like Unite a lot, honestly. Okay, so
There's,
what the
there's a duology of games that we can quickly take care of with the Poker Park games. I love Poker Park.
Okay, where's Poker Park? Poker Park, Poker Park, Poker
Poker
Park.
Park, that one and that one, yeah. Those two, in my opinion, are S, but they can just go in A.
Okay, paint me a word picture. What is Poker Park?
Poker Park is basically it's like a Zelda game, but if it
The hell did you just say?
it's
Oh
like
shit!
a
Yeah, I think I've
Yeah,
heard of these. Yeah.
yeah, it's like you control Pokemon, and you
These feel really silly,
there's, like-
but sure. I mean, if
yeah,
they're cool.
and they're like they have mini games and stuff, and it's a little bit of fun. It's like it's on the Wii, so it
Okay.
stuff, which is a lot of fun.
We'll stick them in there. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
What
What the hell is Pokemon Channel again? Is that the weird thing with Pikachu
that-
where you yell at your Nintendo 64?
That's Hey
No,
You
that's
Pikachu. That's
Pokemon
Hey You Pikachu.
Channel is like Hey You Pikachu, except if it had good controls and you could watch that one Pichu Brothers short. So I'm gonna give it a D tier,
What?
and Hey You Pikachu is
Yeah,
banished
it-
to like Z tier. It's below F. Hey You Pikachu is like the most abhorrent thing in
I have
humankind's
no
history.
idea who thought Hey You Pikachu was a good idea. It was.
As a
thing
child,
that
I thought it was charming.
Hear me out
happened.
here. Okay.
Yeah.
There's one down there, WiiWare, the Pokemon branch. You should
Oh,
put it in
Pokemon
B
Ranch.
because you can technically shiny hunt Jirachi in it.
Oh, yeah,
Holy
that's
shit,
true.
really?
You can
Yeah.
shiny hunt Jirachi in it. You have to beat the story, and if you don't get a shiny, you have to restart, and then you can do it over and
Oh my
over.
god.
Okay, where is that?
That reminds me. That reminds me of the one range,
Okay, I do
Pokey
not.
Link,
Where the?
and yeah, if you hatch that, like you get a Manaphy's egg if you it, but then you can hatch the Manaphy egg, and if it's shiny, then like you have to keep like resetting the game,
And then
you can't
sending
really
it to
get
other
another.
people. See if
Yeah.
it gets shiny.
It's like it's a ridiculous process. No one's ever shiny
Pokemon
hunted
branch
that. I
is
think.
4 from the left on the top row.
No, the one that you just grabbed was Pokemon Masters.
Okay, where's
No,
4
right
from
above
the?
that one.
This
Yeah,
one.
right
No,
Oh,
above-
Ranch.
There you
that
go.
one, yeah.
Okay, you want this where?
C tier.
C.
Sure. Okay.
Since you did grab Masters, we can deal with Masters. Masters is a gacha game.
What is it?
It's a gacha game.
Trash. F tier.
Wow.
Done.
Oh my god.
It's a
Fuck
fun
gacha
game.
game.
I don't care.
It's a fun gacha
I don't care.
game.
Gacha games are dumb.
Detective Pikachu.
Everyone
is A
says
tier.
that.
Detective
Everyone
Pikachu
says
is
this
A
is a
tier.
fun gotcha game. It's still a gotcha game.
Yeah. Gacha games go F tier by default. If I need to spend money to enjoy your game, and
Hey,
it
I
is,
play free to play
yeah. And how's that working out for you?
quite well, honestly.
Let me ask you this: how much time do you how much dumb amounts of time did you have to sink to balance out, though?
I haven't played the game in like a month.
Hypothetically.
Not that much, honestly. I play like maybe 15-20 minutes every day.
Okay, that's absurd, but fine. Where do you want this?
C.
Okay.
I'll give it a C.
Because you like gotchas, I'm moving it down to a D.
C.
I know. I heard.
Oh my god.
I heard what you said. I heard what you said.
Pikachu is an A.
What's one?
Detective Pikachu.
Fine with
Easy.
me.
Yo,
It's funny.
Okay,
It's a
let me ask you this:
Game.
would you put the movie for Detective Pikachu on this
Yes.
channel?
Honestly, S. I loved the movie. Honestly,
Yeah,
I
it was surprisingly good.
It was meta, and I loved that they had small points in the game or in the movie that just really made it feel super interesting.
The only thing I
Yeah,
don't
I
like about
think
that movie is Human Ditto.
Like as a non-Pokemon fan, I put it like high B as a movie.
Yeah, but okay. Also, Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu, being hilarious.
Yeah, absolutely.
I kind of
It
wish
was
it was Danny
fantastic.
DeVito though.
Also, one of the things that really stood out to me in like that I remember always is the enhanced Torterra and how they were literal mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
that
one
was
scene that stood
insane.
out to me was the Mr. Mime scene. Mr. Mime scene
that
was
was-
very funny.
That was so dark.
Hilarious.
Holy crap.
I would say the only miss for that
Burning
movie,
alive.
literally the only miss for me, is Human Ditto, and that's just because I find it very unsettling.
Oh yeah, that was incredibly unsettling, but also it made sense.
No, but I hate
No.
it. Okay.
I love that. That was so good.
Next up, do you want to take care of Pokken?
Pokken is bad.
It's
What?
bad.
Are you kidding me? It's a pretty good fighting game,
It's
honestly.
literally worse than any Tekken. Just play
Yeah,
Tekken.
just play any other fighting game. It doesn't have anything on other ones.
Yeah.
If you want to play a good fighting game, you're gonna play Tekken or Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat. You're not gonna load up Pokken Tournament.
Dragon Ball Fighters.
I think it had like a pretty solid niche as like a combination
No.
between like a 3D and a
No,
2D.
no Dragon Ball.
Oh,
Fighters.
you know,
You're
fair, I'm not
load
gonna
up
argue it. I'm not
Mortal
gonna
Kombat
get to the
matches.
death of
Fighters are
Pokken.
fun.
I don't like it that much.
Now for the
It's like a B
nostalgia
tier.
picks.
Wait. Quick aside. Does Pokken still have tournaments? Do people still play that game? Do they still care?
This year was the last year of their like world tournament stuff.
So because no one plays it anymore, it doesn't have staying power and thus mid. For a
Until
fighting
we
game,
look into-
regular Smash still has staying power, and that's 20 from the N64.
I mean,
do you want to take
can't
care of?
compare something to Smash, man. People are just
Ah.
playing Smash in like 2,155.
No, but my point being that like Smash, like
That's
fighting
very
games,
specific.
people will play the game that has polish for decades.
Mhm.
Literal
I mean,
decades.
Speaking of
Smash
things
had
from the
polish.
64.
Well, I don't know about that.
People
Speaking
think,
of things from the 64, by the way,
okay,
Snap.
I love Snap. Snap's phenomenal, all the way up here at very least. And then I think New Snap is even slightly even better.
Nope. B.
What?
B.
Which one?
Both.
Disagree. What do you
They're
dislike
just-
about Snap?
Why do you want to put it in B?
Because they're just uninteresting. You just take photos.
They are the closest we'll get to a Pokemon FPS.
Okay, so
And
one.
really, it just doesn't feel as fun because most of the time it's literally an on-rails game.
That's the point of it.
I know, but it just doesn't feel good.
So
I
I'd like
will
to.
I
say
just
that you
found it
play it
so-
once and never again because you never get like.
I loved
a new
replaying Snap, dude.
experience.
Snap was one of my most played N64 games. I think this is mostly you guys just don't like the genre of game Snap is.
Look,
Yeah.
if instead of a camera we got a gun, I would be.
That would be so dark. Okay, so I would like to point out one thing here. I think the new Snap is better than the original. And I think they are both.
I'm okay with that. Yeah.
I don't have a lot of complaints about what they are because they are doing what they want to do well. And I mean, realistically,
Fine, I'll give it that.
I agree.
I think.
Then, okay, put the original Snap below Gold and Silver.
Yeah, I think that's
Sure.
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
do think the new Snap
I'd
is
see
better
that.
though, because the new Snap has so much more variety. Like the original Snap, each level basically had a functional like hidden path and maybe like 2 secret Pokemon things you could do, whereas the new one's got a whole lot more. Got stacks on stacks on stacks on stacks.
What do we have left?
Pinball.
Oh, Dash. Oh boy, Dash is also
Pinball.
Pinball's surprisingly good.
Pinball games were super fun.
Okay,
I love
pinball. B. Pinball.
B, yeah. B for pinball.
I would put
B for
pinball
ball.
in B at least.
Okay, what is Dash?
Pinball is a pinball
Dash and
game.
F. Dash and F.
And-
Okay.
Dash is the worst game they've ever made.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah.
Pokemon Quest.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
still put it above Hey You Pikachu. I like
Actually, yeah.
Hey You,
Yeah, put it above.
hey You
the
Pikachu is a special type of abhorrence.
Wrong game. There you
Yeah,
go.
there. That's fine.
Jose, that's
Pokemon
the art
Quest
one?
is F.
Pokemon
Yeah,
Quest is
I
F, but
really enjoyed
funny.
pinball games.
Pokemon Quest is F, but it's funny.
It's a funny F.
So like there.
Yeah, I'm good with
Oh
that.
my
It's
fucking
Minecraft.
God.
It was fun for like 10 minutes until I realized I had to wait like 5 hours to attract a new Pokemon.
Okay.
Or you could pay money.
Yeah, I'd say B is good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Speaking of fun games, speaking of fun and funny games, Magikarp Jump.
It's fine.
I love Magikarp Jump.
It's fine.
Until it got kicked off the shop. I mean, kicked off the shops.
I think
I
it
don't
can
know
hang
why it
right
did.
around there. I think it's fine.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Probably because it was very similar to Flappy Bird and those games are becoming increasingly addictive. I
Okay.
just wanted to make sure that
Probably.
people weren't.
Chose is
Yeah.
fun. What do you guys think of Chose? I think it's fun.
I'm
Never
okay with
played them.
Frozen.
It's a fun little puzzle game.
Yeah.
I think.
I think it's like a solid C, yeah?
Okay, so C. It's fine. Yeah, we'll put high C. There you go. Perfect. Shuffle. That's
I like the art style.
almost the exact same.
Shuffle is like worse Trozy. That's like Trozy, but for people with worse taste. So I'm thinking D tier.
Yeah. Okay. worth shuffle.
Yeah, it's for people who like coleslaw.
What is this?
That's very specific.
What is this?
What is that? I can't see
What
it
is what? I
properly.
can't see it. You have to scroll down, my man.
I've got it on screen. I just literally don't know what it is. I put it in the never played.
I think your screen is frozen for me. What are you on right now?
The one in the never played.
I don't know. It's in all Japanese and it has no specifications.
At the typing adventure? No, that's not typing adventure. I don't know.
The last one in the line I can tell is Pokemon Cafe, which was another app.
Yeah, Cafe did not age well.
No, I still think it's a bit better than Quest, but it's just a matching game.
Yeah, it's literally Candy Crush.
Okay, which
that
one?
kind of
Which
thing.
one?
Cafe, the furthest to the right. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Where are we putting this?
Honestly, bottom D is where I'd put
Yeah,
it.
D.
Art Academy.
D. Where is where is Typing Adventure? Typing Adventure is iconic.
Oh?
I don't know why they went hard on the music in that.
It's always the strangest games that go so hard on their music.
Yeah, right.
The fact that it came with a little keyboard is the silliest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, you can plug a keyboard into your DS or something.
Yeah.
Funny.
That's very silly, but I kind of like typing games, so
No,
yeah, he's fine.
I'm just imagining someone connects their like DS to like the typing app and then use the WASD to like move.
Okay.
Someone should set up their thing to play, you know, like
Amazing.
an FPS game on their old ass Pokemon keyboard.
So, Dream Radar. I think Dream Radar is not a very good game.
Dream Radar is barely a game. It's
What?
Snap, but in real life.
It's like Pokemon Go X Snap, but like worse than both.
Yeah,
Oh, dear.
it's the way that you get the genies in Gen 5.
Your breath.
I
Like
think
the
it's bad.
Flipside genies.
Yeah.
What is Camp
and then the
Pokemon?
Camp Pokemon?
Camp
I
Pokemon.
think that one is like Pokemon Camp is like it was like a Japanese exclusive game. I want to say or that or
It looks to
very
be just the
successful game.
campsite game. It's like campsite version only of Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Okay. Yeah, sorry.
Huh.
I've sort of heard about this, but like it's barely known about. This is a very niche game.
We'll put it there because none of us have actually
yeah,
played
that's
it.
fine.
Picross is great. I love Picross.
Yeah.
Picross is
A tier.
fun.
Yeah.
I think Picross is
Absolutely.
one of the best versions of those like silly little jank nonsense games that they've done. Because I think Picross is just really fun. Oh yeah. What else do we got here that's not on this list? We did Coliseum, we did XD, we did Snap, New Snap, Hey You, Mystery Dungeon, TCG Game Boy Color. That's on there. Unite. Conquest is on there, yes?
Hey,
Yeah.
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 Troze channel.
Covered it all.
I think they're all in here. I think everything's in here.
Yeah. Holy
Um,
shit, we got it all, boss.
On there. Do we want to organize any of the things, or are we okay with this?
I'm okay with it.
I'm okay with it. It looks like a mess to organize. We'd be here for another hour and a half doing that.
Fair enough.
Oh, excuse
But
me.
I think so. We're all in agreement that Pokemon Legends Arceus is the best Pokemon game.
Yes, so far.
So far, absolutely.
It's not my
Until
favorite, but
Scarlet
I like
comes
it.
out.
I
Until Scarlet
feel,
and Violet come out and we decide that.
yeah, that
Yeah.
I
If
find that
if
that's
Scarlet
game,
and Violet
yes.
turn out to be if they turn out to be a really like an actual like good mix of what they did with Arceus and like mainline Pokemon, the regular mainline Pokemon games, I'll be so happy.
Okay,
Yeah.
so quick aside here, just before we finish off this tier list. Without spoilers, where do you guys
Yeah.
think the new games are going to end up? I think they're going to end up around A.
I think so
With-
too.
I'm not gonna keep optimism because of how Sword and Shield came out. So I'm gonna say B.
You think they're going to be...
Shield had things going on. The whole
Yeah.
Dexit thing was a lot.
Also,
but now that
they
we're
have
in,
the version exclusive special thing is cool, but at the same time, it doesn't really feel that cool.
I like the fact that one is like future, one is past. I think that's really
Yes,
neat.
that is cool, but at the same time, it just straight up feels strange.
I know, but one of my big complaints with the differences between the two versions is that they've always been so like minor that finally
Yes,
seeing them
that
do
is
something
fair.
interesting with that is cool to me.
But yeah, I think that if this game had been announced like immediately after Sword and Shield, I wouldn't have like a lot of hope. But I'm hoping that because of Arceus,
Legend
that
Arceus.
there's going to be stuff
Yeah.
that came from that and the stuff that I like about Sword and Shield. I'm hoping that the combination of that will make it
Yeah.
at least an A game.
And
I
I
think
mean,
the devs definitely listened to us when everyone said like, "Oh my God, Legends Arceus, fantastic game." So I think the devs actually heard and are like, "Okay, they like some of the stuff we did here." I know we don't have free like some things. I know won't pass over because some of them are supposed to be unique to the game. But the fact that they heard we liked it probably says something.
You know,
One-
like the idea that they're like, holy crap, they actually liked things up.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Because they're used to just everyone complaining about everything. And then there were people that complained that like the trees are low polygon. I'm like, how often are you just sitting there and staring at a tree?
Yeah, right.
one other thing
You
that
know
I
what's
think
kind of crazy?
Go on.
Legends Arceus came out like this year. It feels like a solid like couple years ago at this point, but
So the-
yeah,
it makes
I remember the time that I sat up an entire night trying to catch Rotom.
one thing that's
He
fun
never
too is
spawned.
I think statistically the games that the first time they do like a graphical jump, those games always tend to be a little bit more of a miss than the follow-up ones. So I
Yeah.
think statistically
like
this
Diamond
game
and Pearl were questionable. So I think it's just like a Sword and Shield was they were warming up. They were warming up their Switch game.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
Diamond Pearl, a Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. Yeah, that jump was not smooth, and same goes for Gen 6. Those games, the jump it was not put together well. The sprites were not very good. The character models in the Diamond Pearl remakes, I hated how small they were. I didn't like how
so
they looked.
funny looking.
TV thing did not work.
And then it's so strange that they only keep that look for the overworld. You go into the battle, and suddenly they're these full-scale people, and it's like I'm getting taken out of it.
It's a really weird side game.
The unfortunate thing about like modern Pokemon games with the following mechanic is what they want to make it natural with like a Slugma is supposed to move slower than like a
Don't care.
Rotom.
Don't care.
But at the same time,
Yeah, I don't care.
yeah, it's like you want to make it realistic, but you also don't weird.
I care significantly more about gameplay than I
Let's
do.
Go Pikachu Eevee, because like you could actually ride on certain Pokemon.
Yeah, that was so
Yeah,
nice.
which is
You could ride on your like Charizard, and you could fly.
Ride Onyx.
Yeah.
Riding Onyx was sick.
And Persian was
Yes.
fast as fuck. Like you went like halfway
You know,
across.
with how
the
much we're
map.
complimenting this, should we move them up a little?
They get promoted to D tier. Greatest honor
They
alive.
had cool ideas.
But that's
You did
because they
that.
had things that were great and they had things that were bad. So really, in all, it just makes it mid. Just like
Yeah.
all, but,
Um,
like
okay. So
it's forgettable.
I think functionally we can stop here. If anyone needs to go, feel free. The one thing we were gonna do as well potentially
I've
here.
actually already missed like half a class, but you know.
Oh my god, get out of here next!
No, if you miss half the class, there's no point going now.
Yeah.
Oh shit, come on.
The important question here
But
is:
also, I need breakfast.
does anyone want to share their hot takes? Because we talked about potentially sharing some hot takes here about Pokemon.
Hot takes. Actual Diamond and Pearl were great, and I loved them despite the fact how slow they were. And hot take, Gen 3, no. I was not about
Gen 3 is overrated in my opinion.
I agree. Gen 3 is so overrated. The only reason people put it so high is because it was the game they grew up with.
Funny trauma.
So many people grew up with that. Everyone's just like, oh my god, it was such a good game. And I'm like, no, you're purely basing this off nostalgia. Like, I know I do that with Wind Waker because Wind Waker was my first Zelda game, so I have so much nostalgia for it. That's why I put it so high whenever I rate games. But it just doesn't feel like I'm going back to these games because I didn't grow up with it, and I'm like, these games are honestly not very good. But when I go back to like Diamond and Pearl, I just feel so much better about those games because I feel that the Dex was way better, personally. Even without the very fire types, I felt the Pokemon were way cooler, and I actually genuinely liked them more. And a very hot take, I didn't like any of the Gen 3 starters. Mudkip was okay. The other two, boring as all get out.
I'm sorry.
I do not like Torchic, and I do not like whatever the
Trico.
I love Trico. Trico's a sassy
I
little
don't care
lizard.
about him. But then if I go to Gen 4,
He's going
that
on.
is my Gen 4 is genuinely my favorite set of starters. I don't dislike any of them. The only thing I dislike is how people are like, oh, you have to pick Chimchar when you play Gen 4. No, you don't. That's the only thing.
When you play Diamond and Pearl,
You're supposed
You
to
beat the game without a fire type.
Unless
You know
you
what I
get a
mean? Like, you don't
Rapidash.
need a fire type.
The thing is, I'd rather take a Rapidash because I love Empoleon. I love Piplup. He is my favorite starter by far. He
he's
is
a good lad.
the most perfect boy.
Okay,
Like,
very
I
briefly
just
here,
love
guys,
Gen 4.
because it doesn't feel like most of us have proper hot takes here.
I have a
My
hot take.
hot
I have a
Okay,
really
go.
hot take. Okay. Trubbish is not bad. It's pretty fucking cute.
True. Based.
It's like it's the
Sorry.
ultimate low hanging fruit of all time.
Okay,
What
it's
is
the
that?
low
I didn't hear.
hanging trash.
My hot
Sorry,
take is
what's-
that I think that the black and white generation, all the starters, kind of mid.
No, that's not a
My
hot
hot
take
take-
at all. That's a
my
cold
hot
take.
take-
That's like the coldest
Okay,
fucking
that's
take of all
My
time.
hot take is going to make a lot of people upset if people were watching us in thousands. The national dex thing was inevitable.
The national dex is
Yeah, it
logical
really
and
was.
should be built into the game further. I think once
Yeah,
you unlock
I
the national
agree.
dex, you should just make it so I can catch all the Pokemon. Just literally just
Yeah.
change route spawn rates and let me go back to the
I
beginning of the
agree
game and run through and catch all the Pokemon in one game.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree with Dex on this, in that I honestly kind of like how Sword and Shield did it. They had a base game with where only certain Pokemon were available, and then they added more on afterwards to a different section. Because
I think
if you have a base game with nearly like 900 something Pokemon, it's
We're gonna
too
hit
much for
1,000.
it's too much to have in one area, in one region. Like,
yeah, for sure.
we have like the idea of the regional Pokemon. If you think about it, the Pokemon that you find in Johto, there's not going to be as many of them in Paldea. Like,
Oh, for
it
sure.
makes sense to have them separate. I think in actual deck, yeah, it was inevitable, but the way they just kind of threw it on us, it just made the fans upset. Because so many of them were like, I can't play with my Blaziken I've had since I was 7. No. Get some more Pokemon, my guy.
Okay, so second hot take, I think that Pokemon game, this is going to be a weird one, but I love it when all 3 starters have some sort of like linked theming to them, if that makes sense. So,
Yes.
They've been doing that more recently.
For
which I'm
example-
happy
You know, like
about.
the Gen 6 ones, right?
so even
Yeah.
just looking at like Rillaboom, Cinderace, and Inteleon, the theming to that is that they are all monotype all the way through. Right?
And also, they're all British-related stuff. Like, Inteleon is
James Bond.
by,
MI6.
007, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Cinderace is
Rillaboom's a drummer, so like,
So for rock.
music and stuff is
London,
like rock music is
London.
important to them.
Sure.
And Cinderace is a football player. People they love their
Makes sense.
football.
See, that's fun.
Yeah,
I think that's really fun. And then
And-
obviously you go back a generation and you've got like Decidueye, Incineroar,
Yeah.
and Primarina. There's not a lot of theming on that generation. I think that's kind of a miss. I think
That
obviously
one, I believe it's like they went for like performance kind of things that like
I'm sorry, how is
Decidu-
Ranger or
Decidueye is like an archer and like able to like do archery tricks and stuff like that pretty well. Primarina does the music stuff and the wrestling, which is like
Yeah.
performance
so
wrestling.
I think that the problem with that is that Decidueye doesn't sell it. As much as Decidueye is my
Yeah.
favorite of the 3, first off, the other 2 are monotype and then third form gets a second type.
I
Which
yeah.
is-
I will say the if you look at it from a Japanese point of view, it makes more sense because Kyudo is so big in Japan, and it is like a spectator like thing.
Yeah, that's
So-
fair. But is that that generation? What continent were they based for?
Hawaii.
That's not archery's not like a huge Hawaiian.
Is wrestling that's big over there?
I don't know, but that's
Sumo
my.
wrestling is very big in Hawaii, actually.
They didn't really use much archery. They mostly use spears.
Yeah, I was like, you're missing a little bit of the like flavor to the setting as well as that one. And then I think
Yeah,
And
I
if we're
think
going
that's
off of
kind of more of a like Japanese mindset kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
they came up with the idea, and they're not really thinking of the setting as much, except for like
And
in
then
the game.
I think Chestnut and Delphox and Greninja, that's really fun because you got like a knight, a wizard, and a ninja, and I'm like, that's cool. And
Yeah,
then
Paladin.
they also all
Yeah,
gained a
RPGs,
second.
yeah, Paladin, Rogue, and Wizard.
Yeah, I was like,
And
that's
so
really
it's like
fun.
PNG. And then we have to go off of Gen 4 and Gen 6 for one thing, and that is that they all have a second type that makes them able to hit the other one no matter what. Like, if we go to Gen 4, Torterra, yeah, he would usually be weak against Empoleon, but he has ground type, so that makes him strong.
Basically, Empoleon
against
gets screwed in that.
Okay, but we're not there yet.
Screwed
We're
in
on
that.
Gen 5. I think Gen 5 is a miss as well because like there's no
Because Emerald
synergy.
up
The
too.
theming is that
The only theming I see there is that everyone lost or gained limbs.
amputation. Woo.
The leg count shifted for all of them. That's the only consistent thing I'm seeing across these three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's not good. That's not interesting. It's not like flavorful or fun. And then
Hey, the flavor comes from getting the legs off them and then eating them.
I think for Gen 4, like you're saying, they gain types that balance out, which is interesting. I do think it's
Yeah.
kind of silly that Mon Inferno against fighting type then. I think it would have been fine to leave him with fire and then you could have them all gain the type on the third.
Yeah.
It bothers me only slightly that they did that.
Surprisingly, the one that has a pattern that like after that they didn't have a pattern for a while and then brought it back is Gen 1. They're all typical pets for like exotic pets for children, being like a frog, a lizard, and a turtle.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
mean,
they're all amphibians. Amphibians are reptiles. Amphibians are reptiles.
yeah, that's true. I do think it's kind of a miss that everyone gains a type but Blastoise, which is funny.
Yeah, and I'm surprised they didn't do that when they didn't give it a steel type.
Yeah, that would have made sense. He's got big cannons on his shoulders. You could give him steel type
Well,
at
they
that
didn't
point.
have steel type till Gen 2.
No, I know, but they
Yeah, I mean,
they
when
also
the
did a
manga
bunch
came.
of fixing of the first gen anyways.
Yeah, they
Felt
did
weird
give
that
the
he didn't
steel
have a
back.
second type.
I will
they
say
did
that
give the steel back to what's it called, Magnemite. So I'm
Magnemite, yeah.
surprised they didn't give that to more things.
I do
they
think
didn't
that-
give Dark to anything as well.
Gen 2 is interesting because they're all monotype, which I appreciate.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Also,
But
there's something
we
cool
did-
with Gen
yeah,
2s
right.
that most people don't really realize. It's that Pulava like levels from like the mid stage for Cyndaquil happens sooner than anything else, but Typhlosion happens later than anything else.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the mid stage for Totodile happens later than everything else, but you get for Alligator at like a crazy low level, like level 30.
Yeah,
or something.
30,
That's
And then
great
the game's
because
just like in the middle.
Alligator's middle is horrible.
Like
I-
Crocodile.
Okay, this is my Pokemon hot take. I think that the 3 starters of each generation should be more synergistic in leveling. I think personally that they should all level up at the same time.
Talking about the humanware things.
No. I just think they should level up at the same times. I think that it shouldn't matter what starter you pick. The whole point is that they are supposed to be different, but you pick one and your gameplay should be fairly similar, just with different typing and Pokemon, right? So I think they should level at the
My
same time.
hot take related to starters is that
That's out in the middle of his hot take.
Yeah, right.
Sorry, my hot take is that I'm okay with them being humanoid.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't care about that. I don't care about the different levels. Like, it's mostly fine. I just want the starters to be well thought out and fun.
Mhm.
Oh boy, you're in for a rude awakening.
Probably. I've seen the base forms, and I haven't.
You know what?
Again, I haven't seen
Who is your
like,
favorite?
any of the news.
Okay,
Or,
just to close this out here, actually, if you guys want to, who is
Yeah.
your favorite of the new 3? Because that's not spoilers. It's just
Wait,
looking at the base 3
Coco.
starters, not considering the
Coco.
final forms. What's your favorite?
Play Coco. Play
Mine as
Coco.
well.
Coco.
Coco is my favorite as well.
I like
Oh my god.
I like the cat.
You like Spaghettito.
What is the cat?
Spaghettito.
Spaghettito.
Nice. Anyways,
Nobody told.
Okay,
Nobody told.
we're not talking about the things in the
No.
future.
Yeah.
is anyone taking
Come back and talk about
Quaxley?
the-
I'm picking Spaghettito myself.
So no one's taking Quaxley. So we just need to find
Poor duck.
someone who's taking Quaxley and be like, hey, can you please trade us one Quaxley?
Yeah.
You gotta scour the server for just one
I remember
Quaxley.
seeing
enjoy.
one, and it was a set of cups, and it was for Sprigatito is she, her, and then for Great Coco is they, them, and then for Quaxley is nice hat.
That is true.
No, I can't.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to trying it.
Very
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
Thank you all for this. This was fun.
And they did this with
Fun.
Score Bunny too.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Jeez. All right. Yeah. With that, let's call it
Coco
a.
has no thoughts going on.
No, he's so derpy, and I love it. Okay, let's stop the stream here. See you guys all later. We'll probably.
See ya.
I think we might want to do something with the new next week. Talking maybe a bit on. I think we were talking about potential like Pokedex science entries, which could be really fun, especially if we.
Yeah, I wanted to do something like that. Yeah.
Especially if we
Yeah,
base
I
it off
have
the new
heard
decks. I think that'd be really fun
I
if
don't
we.
know. I don't know about anyone else, but on Friday I intend to have beaten the game by the end of the day.
We are going to. I'm hopping into a
Holy
call this
shit.
Friday, and I might stream my Switch gameplay of the new Pokemon game that Friday night.
Yeah.
By Friday
Yeah,
coming out, I'll competitive things. So I will hopefully